Now your sound is a mix of a lot of bands, like Readers, for example, the Pixies. Can you tell us more about your influences? I mean, Ritzy, you spent time in Washington DC, is that right?
Sure
And Ridian, you spent time in Manchester. How did that shape your sound and influence it?
I think it's just a matter of, you know, always kind of keeping an open mind. I mean, you know, I think we've all got individually very eclectic taste, you know. I mean, I've never just liked one style of music, kind of, you know, from growing up, you know. I was very, very fortunate to grow up in a household where my parents were big record collectors, and they had, you know, so, you know, almost a library of records to choose from, and definitely, you know, it was a very open household to any style, any genre of music, just so long as it was fucking good, you know, basically. So I think, you know, we've all definitely bring. I mean, we've definitely, you know, like. I think we definitely, you know, one thing that we all share is that we kind of, you know, like the moments in music where, you know, those moments in music that you can't quite explain, that kind of give you, you know, goosebumps, or, you know, make the hairs on the back of your neck. You know, I think we all, you know, get off on music for those moments, but definitely, you know, I think we all like different things. And when you travel, you know, I mean, you know, we go to DC, and when you live in different places, that instantly opens your ears up to different bands, local scenes, you know, new music, American music, for, you know, in the context of where I went. And
it's a bit hard to kind of pin down, though, I'd say, because I think we've kind of been in a bubble as well, haven't we? You know, I wouldn't say that, for instance, me being in Manchester, because you eventually turned up there as well, for, you know, turned up there with your backpack.
By the time.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that we had a particularly Manchester sound or anything like that, and the same goes for North Wales, same goes for DC. I just think that, you know, it's maybe more of an influence, the fact that we came from North Wales and being secluded in this kind of writing bubble, and we drew on just purely the experience of escaping that, you know, because I certainly don't hear much of the Pixies and Breeders, and I mean, but the funny thing is that we get a lot of different references thrown at us when it comes to reviews and stuff. But no, I suppose we take it as a compliment, because everybody says different things. You know, for me, I wouldn't say that there's, you know, it's quite straightforward as like, oh yeah, I was influenced by DC bands, I was influenced by Manchester bands. We've always felt a little bit like we're on the outside anyway, so.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that if you have another mind and you travel and you listen to different music,
you pick up little things from everywhere, don't you?
Definitely. Absolutely. I don't think, you know, I mean, I think if we all named our favourite artists, or the one thing that got us really passionate about music, I don't think you'd be able to hear fucking any of it in the songs that we write. But maybe there'd be some point.
I can hear a bit of Venga Boys in your lyrics, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So, I think it's quite an abstract, you know, an abstract sort of sprinkling of Venga Boys and what I do. I don't think it's really obvious, you know. I think.
There's definitely an element of Chaz and Dave in your bass playing as well.
Definitely, and your vocal style's a bit like Enya.
You've got me.
You do like a bit of Enya.
Yeah.
You've summed me up.
And talking about that, I mean, there's a great dynamic between the three of you. I mean, how do the song ideas come about? I mean, how do you strike that balance between the three of you, between the bass, guitar, and, you know, drums?
We just all fight for the same space. Just one big eternal.
Three big egos fighting.
I want to be louder. I'm better and bigger than you.
I want to be louder. I want to be louder.
I've got the drums.
Yeah, mine's just.
I am the loudest.
Not if I turn my amp up to 11.
Oh no, definitely. Even on 3, it's insane.
I mean, especially you, Matt. I mean, you're probably the loudest of the band with the drums. I mean, you've got a really, you know, a lot of people compare to Jake Grohl as an example, and
It's quite funny.
Now, there's a few tracks from your first EP, A Balloon Called Moaning, and also you've got a whole bunch of new songs with the debut album. What was it like working with Rich Costey?
It was great, you know. I mean, you know, with the background in mind, I mean, we've had a lot of. I mean, it's still self-produced to a lot of it, you know, to a lot of extent. I mean, we did a lot of it still, kept the same ethic as we had done on the first EP, so it was still recorded, you know, for the most part in our little modest bedroom cum studio in South London, using our live engineer as well. I definitely want to mention Nick as well, because he was you know really instrumental in making this new album. Our live engineer Nick Mentor, and you know, so we were definitely, you know, it was a little bit of a difficult thing opening it out to somebody else, you know, as talented as Rich is, and I love everything that he's done, but you know, it's still difficult to know whether or not it's going to work with the album you want to make and the sonic you want to produce. So we went over to LA and we spent some time with him, and we produced 2 songs just to see how it went, and then from that just felt very, very comfortable and very trusting that we could leave it to him to mix, and I'm so glad that we did, you know, because he's definitely made a difference to the final album, you know. I mean,
yeah.
He's definitely made it you know, we wanted it to be a powerful album. We wanted it to be for the dynamic, you know, to be really powerful and for it to be wide, and but still be able to hear, you know, all the layers, and yeah, he brought it to life in that sense. So
yeah.
I'm really happy that we worked with him. So he's a great guy.
There's definitely a much bigger sound on this album than, say, a Blend Colmonian, so it really brings out your performance.
Definitely, well, that's definitely down to working with Nick, our live engineer. Definitely, you know, giving us a little bit of time as well to develop our sound. You know, we're bound to evolve over the course of 8 months, and Matt's playing on it. Matt wasn't playing on the first EP, and then throw into the mix Rich Costy, and yeah, you're fucking laughing.
It was more of a mixing thing, really, wasn't it? Because the ethos, the kind of nuances of us recording in our bedroom, we didn't want to lose. So that's the same.
That intimacy, I suppose.
Yeah, but then just, you know, kind of bring that alive, isn't it?
When
by
it needs to
having
be
some,
powerful.
when it, yeah. Nice bit of mix.
Is there a favourite track that each of you guys have on the album?
Not really. They're all.
Yeah, we're very proud of them all. Purely in terms of, God, we've listened to it so many times anyway. I think, you know, it's nice to have a friggin' break.
Oh, Richard.
I'm only joking. I think, you know, you come back to it and you have a favourite. You know, the listening experience is different each time, isn't it? I think, you know, I think it's different when you write it as well. So I don't really have a favourite, you know, they're all I'm very proud of them.
I mean, all the tracks stand out on their own, but I mean, for us, the making of the album was, you know, it was considered where they all sat, you know.
Sure.
We definitely wanted it to be, you know, to celebrate, I suppose, the album as a form, you know. There's a little bit of a sense sometimes that, you know, good albums are becoming scarcer and scarcer. You know, there's a lot of good songs, or there's 1 or 2 great songs on an album, but we definitely wanted this to feel like a kind of a complete body of work, you know, that ran from, you know, 1 to 13. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of good songs. I mean, you could certainly book any song to be a single. And really, you've got vocals on one song, Laura's War.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, it's always been, I mean, we're songwriters, you know, that's how me and Ritzy got involved with the Joy Formidable right from the start, and there's been cases of songs where it's been initially my vocal and then you'll try your vocal over it, vice versa. I think we just see the whole dynamic as being songs rather than who's singing, and it just feels like a very natural thing, and also a bit of colour to the album as well, you know. You know, so eventually Matty might do some singing on a track, but I would highly sort of, you know, I would highly protest.
You does sing on the album.
Oh, I do.
He does sing on the album. You leave him alone.
He's got a laughing solo. That's
I've got a backing vocal as well, actually. One backing
was really
vocal.
high.
It was really high.
Don't you remember that he had to do the backing vocal, and he did it beautifully because
I did it terribly.
Because you've been eating too many cigarettes.
eating.
Enough said.
No, the laughing solo was pretty crazy actually, because Matt did it in one take. We were like, wow, how did you? It's like, it was like a method actor.
What can I say? I'm a professional.
It's a natural.
Professional.
He had just had a cylinder full of fucking laughing. Just been to the dentist.
Yeah, that was it. I didn't have any work done, I just stole a can of laughing gas. Can I have that? Yeah, what? a bit mad in hindsight. You probably should have met him.
Yeah.